on Thursday, but my meeting was shifted. And so I came on tonight to share some excerpts from this wonderful book that the Lord gave us. So I'm going to give you some few minutes to come in and join us. And while we come in, I'm going to just kind of fiddle a little bit. Just let me know when you come in, where you're coming from. I feel like Mr. Rogers on this one here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Anyhow, I love playing the keys. I actually put this in my basses here so that when I'm in my office, I get a chance to escape into my music. And, we all need something to help us cope. Hey, come on in. Good evening. Good evening, Ruth. Good evening, Sheena. Good evening, Tina. Yeah, Marcella. Hey, Marcella. How are you? I wanted to come on tonight. There's a particular chapter that I wanted to put in video form, and I'm doing that tonight. It's actually a section of my book, My Merchandise is Good. And I want to thank you all for ordering. Bishop Corey Ruffin, you ain't nothing without Bishop Ruffin. Listen, I love you, bro. I pray for your ministry. I hope all is going well with you and your family. Hola, Roxana, most faithful. Mother Crier, you are in our prayers. And our family mourns with you. But the joy of the Lord is our strength. And let the love of God and the love of your family be comforting for you. And God bless you. God bless you. How are you, Ma? I hope you're okay. Just type something. Let me know you're all ready. I hear good evening. I hear it in your proper voice. Hey, John. Oh, God bless you, bro. God bless you. Thank you, Ruth. Tell him I hope it's a blessing. I didn't, I really believe that this was a sense of purpose that God has given me during this season. So to keep my mind right and to help us all keep our mind right is to produce something during this slowdown. It is really good. Hey, Tish, how are you? Good evening. Good evening. Listen, if you haven't gotten a copy of this book, you can order it right now at HastleMinistries.com. But I'm actually tonight just coming on. I want to talk about a particular section of this book that I've been chomping at the bit. I want to preach it. I've never preached this passage, not from this perspective. And I wanted to just give it to you. And it's only 3 pages in the book. It's a chapter in the book or a little section of the book, or you can't see it on there, called The Harp and the Sling. And I think it's really appropriate. You can't go wrong with Dr. House. I love you. I love you, Bishop. You know that all the way across the country, man. I'm praying you guys are well. Please stay safe out there. I know the numbers is creeping up just like here. And we want to use this time well. So I've been the harp and the sling is really we used as a passage Proverbs 18:16 as a basis for it, where it says a man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. And the concept here is this, and I hope I'm not going to be alone because dinner is almost ready at your house and at my house also. And I want you to get back to it, but I wanted to put this in the record and people can come in afterward to get this. Hit that share button if you can, just to be a blessing to support us on this one so that people can hear this message. But here it is. It's a man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. Imagine a table where there's 8 seats and 8 people sitting in those seats, and you want to be at that table, but there's no space for you. There is no open chair for you. And those people are there discussing their business. The board is discussing their business and at this large mahogany table and coffee's brewing, and they're really burning the midnight oil because they're trying to solve some corporate problem that they're having to make a profit for themselves and to build something for themselves. And there's no place at the table that you want to be at. but you have a gift inside of you, that is valuable because you are a solution to the problem that they're facing corporately. They're facing a problem and you're a solution, but you're not at the table. But someone at that table realizes that what's missing is the solution that's in you. And so they want to invite you to the table, but there's no room. But what you bring to the table, your gift, what you bring to the table makes room for you and brings you before great men. That there is something that God is developing in you right now, in obscurity. There's something that God is developing you right at this moment, when nobody knows your name, when you have no platforms, you have no fame, your business is not well known, you don't have a storefront, you don't have franchises, your gift, your ministry, your family, whatever your brand is, whatever. There's things that God has put in you, gifts that are in you that you have to develop when nobody knows you. Everybody wants to go from obscurity to popularity, but you've got to develop the gift in you. And what I'm saying to you in this brief lesson tonight, and I really just want to come on and encourage you and be high energy on this one, because I know how difficult it is to wait on your opportunity. But there's an example in the scriptures of when David was rejected by his family. He was on the backside of a mountain. The scripture tells us that his humble beginnings as a shepherd boy were even tainted by the fact that his mother, he may have been born of illegitimate situations. And as a matter of fact, he says in Psalm 51, he says that in sin was I conceived, and iniquity. And he says in my mother's womb that I was a mess before I even got here. And so his father not really bringing him forward was really a problem for him. And his brothers rejected him. They hated his confidence because they believed he just needed to be forgotten. And David would be on the backside of his father's property, tending the sheep, while his brothers were out there being presented to prophets to be a king or being in battle in the army. But he was just watching the sheep. And while he was in this situation, instead of sulking, the scripture says that he would sling. He had a sling and a rock and practice protecting the sheep by throwing rocks from his sling at the lions and the bears who came, and he protected them, and he developed his skills while he was in obscurity. Not only did he develop his skill with a sling, he also developed his skill with a harp. He would sing songs unto the Lord. He was a skilled harpist and a skilled minstrel. He was a songwriter, and he would write songs. These skills made him look soft because he didn't have a bow and arrow. He didn't have a spear. He didn't have armor. He was just out there with a bunch of sheep, and he would throw rocks and sing songs all day, and his brothers would diss him like he was soft. And really, this message is about those of us who people don't take us serious because of our interests. Our interests may not be what everyone else's interests are. And we spend a lot of time doing things that seem to be unprofitable. We're invested in our hobbies. We're learning new languages. We're doing things that it just doesn't seem to be in the mainstream. But you are developing some skills that you're going to need at the next season in your life. You've got to trust when you're being led by God and you're tapping into your time of fellowship and worship, that it's going to pay off in this next season. You and the things that don't look like it makes sense to other people right now, those things are going to blossom into an opportunity for you later. Let me tell you what happened. He's playing his harp on the backside of the mountain on his father's property, and he starts writing songs like this. And this was thousands of years ago, and you still know the words of this song. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He prepares a table before before me in the presence of mine enemies. He anoints my head with oil. My cup runneth over. He writes that psalm, Psalm 23. He writes Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be? As a lyricist, his pen was mighty and it was eternal. He was fellowshipping with God. He was developing his gift. He was throwing rocks to protect the sheep. He had a shepherd's heart. And though his assignment seemed insignificant to his brothers, he was learning to care for those who couldn't care for themselves. He was being prepared to be a king, but he didn't know it because it looked like he had been forgotten. I want to encourage somebody right now. Keep developing your skills. When nobody recognizes you, you go home and you go work on it, develop it, go back to school. I don't care what it is. You are not going to be locked in this position forever, and you're going to be presented with opportunities that if you are prepared, success is coming your way. Can I give you a definition of success? Here it is. Success is when opportunity meets preparation. That's good right there. Thank you. It's a process. When opportunity meets preparation, there is success. And if you are looking for an opportunity but not looking to prepare, you are not waiting for success. You're waiting for rejection. Okay, this is a key point. The effects of rejection and abandonment, and I'm reading this right from my book. My merchandise is good. It says the effects of rejection, abandonment, and harsh criticism on our confidence and self-assurance are powerful, but what we are practicing and developing in isolation can become a tool for our later elevation. People in our lives say things to us that kill our dreams and destroy our confidence. And developing skill sets is a surefire way to develop up in life. Listen, to level up in life. Our skills make us valuable and indispensable. You need some skills. And I don't know what is wrong with our community, but we want handouts when we've got to make ourselves valuable to those who we're presenting our resume to. Let me see what you say. What I loved about the section on page 19 is the effects of rejection and abandonment. Yeah, that's the sentence I just read, that we are practicing things in isolation that's going to give us a hand up in later seasons in our lives. The prophet, when when Saul is being troubled by an evil spirit from the Lord, he had been rejected for his disobedience, and that this was an opportunity for David's gift to be summoned into the presence of royalty. And that David came to play his harp. This is good stuff right here. David came to play his harp to help Saul to deal with his depression and with the dark spirit that he was struggling with. But if David hadn't been practicing his harp, he would have had no reason to be invited into the king's court and to be prepared for his own rulership. There are things that what it seems insignificant for right now, but there's things you're being prepared for right now that and it doesn't seem like it matches your destiny. But I need you to follow the Spirit of God, your passions, and become excellent at it. Whether it's playing a piano, whether it's writing books, whether it's poetry, whether it's helping people, whether it's cooking, whether it's, I don't care what the thing is, all of you have a gift in you, and you've got to become excellent at that. Don't settle with it just being something interesting. I need it to become something excellent in your life. Oh, goodness. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? That there is a part of you that the world needs you to be excellent at. I was watching a brother talk about how his father used to tell him that he was a master of, this was on This Is Us, I think is the name of the show, and that his father kept telling him that he was a jack of all trades, and he got pride from that. I don't know all the story. I watch it with my wife every once in a while. I watched it last night. Somebody else here watched This Is Us. It's a pretty great show. I mean, there's layers to it. But his father kept saying that he was a master, he was a jack of all trades. And then one day he was trying to fix a sink or something, and he failed at it. And his brother came in and said, jack of all trades and master of none. And that's how people quote Benjamin Franklin, but what Benjamin Franklin actually said, thank you, Sister Ruth. I knew somebody else saw it, that what Benjamin Franklin actually said was that he was a jack of all trades and a master of one, that you must be interested in a lot of things, but one thing, you've got to be excellent. It's okay to have multiple interests, but there's got to be something that you pour yourself in completely. And there's a book called The Outliers that talks about the fact that you got to put 10,000 hours into something to become an expert. And this must be your goal in this season, to begin to pour in yourself, learning every aspect of that thing that you're interested in, that you want to become excellent at. My God, there's a transition. So David is playing his harp on the backside of the mountain, not knowing that one day that gift would be summoned into the court of the king to bring him peace in his madness. Saul was prepared for this kind of ministry when he was looking for the donkeys, the asses of his father, Kish, and he couldn't find them. He went to Samuel, and Samuel gave him instructions and said, you're going to meet with a group of prophets, and they're going to have these 4 instruments. He was introduced to the power of music over him on his way to becoming anointed as king. And they had a lyre, they had a tambourine, a flute, and a harp. And so these prophetic instruments changed him from one man to another at the beginning of his reign as a king. And so when he began to be troubled, yeah, there it is. I'm sorry. That's my microphone humming like that. That when he began to be prepared for his calling, he was introduced to these instruments. And then when he was troubled by the evil spirit in his disobedience, he went back to what changed him before. And the harp of David brought him back to that encounter with the prophets in the outer parts of the city. Are y'all hearing what I'm teaching you? That there are people right now being prepared for the gift that God is preparing in you. Oh, that's good right there. Good evening, Gorman. Good evening, man of God. That there are people right now being prepared for what God has prepared in you. That if you would make yourself excellent, study that thing, become excellent at it. It's just a harp. It's just a sling to your brothers. They don't see the significance, but there is somebody significant who needs what God has put in you significantly. Oh, yeah, that's good right there. That's good right there. The harp and the sling. It's a principle that despise not small beginnings, but you've got to apply yourself to become great at something, and ignore the harsh criticism and the rejection and the abandonment of people around you who won't accept your gifts. Listen, don't let them discourage you because they didn't invest in your business or they didn't buy your product. Listen, your tribe is going to show up. Your tribe is going to show up. You've got something in you. You got books in you. You got plays in you. You got products. You got records in you. You got businesses in you. You got schools in you. You got ministries in you. You got law firms in you. You got doctoral practices. Listen, there's something God has given you that you have to offer the world, and you've got to become excellent at it. Don't be presented with an opportunity you haven't prepared yourself for. Many preachers, they feel the calling of God on their life, and you're going to get a platform one day. You're going to get offered that platform, but if you haven't prepared yourself, you're not going to be ready for it, and you're going to fail, and you need to start preparing yourself now. Be mentored, get taught. My God, am I helping somebody right now? Prayer, passion. Thank you, Ruth. Prayer, passion, and perseverance is so important for us to make sure that we are investing in ourselves. That sling, let me tell you, the sling and the rock. He was protecting little sheep from wild animals, from bears and lions. Bears are territorial, and lions they prey because of they just are powerful beasts. And what happens is that you're training with these unintelligent or inferior intelligent creatures in preparation for something higher. Listen, you are in training right now. The troubles, the attacks that you're under right now are only preparing you to operate at another level. That the bear and the lion is preparing you for Goliath. And that Goliath will not intimidate you, because though he's intelligent, he looks like the bear you've already conquered. There are battles right now that you're in the midst of that you need to approach them excellently and not ignore them. And then watch when the real challenge comes. It's going to be muscle memory for you. The rest of the army is trembling because they never had to face a bear or a lion, but you've been prepared for it, and you know some battles are fought best at a distance. David had the technology to conquer Goliath. The technology was a sling. And listen, they may laugh at you, and your enemy may be laughing. You come to me, he says, you come to me with a sling. Am I a dog? In my eyes, you are equal to an animal. And this mentality comes from you practicing faithfulness over the things that God gives you when it seems insignificant. I don't know who I'm helping right now, but you've got to practice being faithful over a few things so that God can make you ruler over many. The same rock you throw at the insignificant assignments and takes down lions and bears is going to put you on a national platform. My God, put you on a national platform to kill Goliath on behalf of the nation and bring deliverance to your people because you were faithful over a few things. Who would give to someone who has not proven themselves to be faithful in small things that belong to someone else? Who would give you your own to be steward over? Be a good steward over someone. This generation, they just want to rise instantly to be in power and control. But if you haven't served someone else, how can you be trusted to be a leader if you've never been a follower? Am I talking right tonight? I know. Oh, thank you, Walkino. It's good to see you on here. I know your business is doing well. I'm praying for you, girl. Praying for your family. Praying for your anointing, because you've got a strong one. All of you guys, it's all in preparation for the propelling. Ruth Parker, you are preaching tonight. Then my God, I'm just being blessed right now by all of y'all on here. Listen, this is a crucial lesson. I wrote this book because of some struggles I was having with rejection and thoughts and low self-esteem. And I was producing products and never putting them out there. And then being hungry and not realizing that the answer to my poverty was in my house. It was right there. I was sharing with the people how I have a book here. Matter of fact, y'all didn't believe me on Sunday, but I'm going to show you now. Oops. I'm going to show you right now. This is a manuscript of a book that I wrote. This is a manuscript right here. You see how thick it is. This is a manuscript of a book I wrote many years ago, before we even changed the name of the church, when we were Kingdom Baptist Church. This is the transcripts of 7 messages that I preached from toddlers to teachers. And this, I never put the book out, because I didn't think that people would be blessed by it. And years went before I put my first book out. And I decided to write this book, My Merchandise is Good, to help somebody who's struggling with their own creativity. You're a creative, you are a leader. I need you to get this book in your hands. I want to send it to you. Go to HastleMinistries.com, order the book. I want to send it to you, and I want it to be a blessing. If you are adopting this mindset that my merchandise is good, and here's the premise of the book, that the virtuous woman of Proverbs 31 is the church, and her husband is Jesus Christ, and we owe him excellence. We owe him excellence, and we owe him to be virtuous and to have a flow of industry and productivity in our lives. And this is what makes him to be mentioned in the gates. When you read it, when you read this passage, and I'm telling you, it's going to bless you. And watch what I'm saying here, that it says and it says she perceives that her merchandise is good. This is how I'm going to end this one because it's so powerful. This is why I wear it on my head. I know it looks like an Audi sign, but it really says my merchandise is good because she perceives that her merchandise is good. Three levels of it. She knows that it's good. The word perceive means she knows it. She knows that it's good. She knows that it's good, and she knows that it's good. The first level is she knows it in her thoughts, in her ideas, in her mind. She is confident of it. Number two, she has investigated it in a way to make sure that it's good. And then not only has she investigated to make sure it's good and to stamp it with approval, but she has ensured that it was good by the investment she made in it. And this is the concept and the principle behind the fact that when you say my merchandise is good, it's not because you're souped up or because you're arrogant. It's because you've inspected it. You have put the work in to make sure that it is benefit. The word good means beneficial or helpful and useful. And so I've made sure that it's useful in my own life. I've tested it. I've investigated and made sure before I put it out that I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's, or crossed my I's and dotted my T's, whichever one it is. And then last but not least, I know that it's good because I've been convinced that it's good. And I'm because I produce good things, and my merchandise is me. It's my character. It's my family. My God, you make sure when you are good stewards over the things that God has given you, you make God proud by what you produce. That's in your children, your children's children. That's in your hairdo. That your edge up is good. Yeah, listen, I did my own edge up the other day, and it's all straight and everything. I was like, I did a good job because I'm in that season of life that I'm making it all good. So listen, I came on tonight very briefly to share this concept, the simple principle of the harp and the sling with you. I appreciate you guys coming on. I see Joseph Borba here all the way from Cote d'Ivoire. Thank you for joining us. Sandra Barney, love you. Appreciate you guys. George LeBron, I see all of you on here tonight. I want to thank you for joining us. Hit that share button. Let somebody know this was a valuable teaching for those in our community who don't believe that your water is wet as everyone else's water, that your salt is as salty as their salt, and your sugar is as sweet as theirs. I need to let you know that it's going to work. Put your business out there. Put your merchandise out there. Apply for the job. Go back to school. Do whatever it's going to take to develop your skill in obscurity so that when the opportunity that God has designed for you comes, you'll have success because opportunity met preparation. That's our message for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Listen, if you could go right now to hassleministries.com, we have hats and t-shirts and stuff. And this is our merchandise. It is to help you to put a word. And listen, you surround yourself with words and positive affirmations. Get the book, get a positive affirmation that you can put it on every day. And people are going to read it and say, oh, my merchandise is good. They're going to think a whole bunch of things if you wear the shirt or you do something else. But listen, you know what you mean. It's every part of you is that. And so thank you so much. You encourage me by being on these broadcasts and by copying the copy of this book. I want to sign it and write a blessing in it for you. You can get it there at hassleministries.com. I'd rather you buy it from Hassle Ministries just so I can sign it. But if you want it even faster, you can go to Amazon.com and type in Dr. James Hassle and my merchandise is good, and you'll see the book show up there. They have it on Kindle and they have it in paperback there. And soon, very soon, I'm almost done with it. We'll have it in audio book for you, and you can get that. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. I hope I didn't miss anybody who came on tonight. Thank you for joining me, and I'm going to have dinner. So are you.